Okay, so
Hey.
Shelby and I have something on our chest. We need to talk about it. So we just got, which happens a lot. We just received. Shelby got an inquiry, and then the next day I got the same person inquired again, but with
Yeah.
me. So I'm not sure if people don't really realize that first of all, we all work together. Like they're obviously not checking like anything. They're just kind of going from one to the other. Red flag. But the thing is, when someone tells you that maybe like, usually it happens with someone that has a no. So whatever reason, the credit, like the credit or the application doesn't work, they can't buy right now, but they're just kind of looking for a yes. So then they go from one person to another. So they're using everyone's time to just get the same information. So this
At the end of
happens a
the
lot.
day, sorry.
No, go ahead. Take
I
it.
was just I was just gonna say at the end of the day, like we all do the same job, right? We all follow the same lender guidelines. We all have access to more or less the same lenders. So it's not going to make a difference whether you inquire with me, whether you inquire with Shut In, whether you inquire with another broker down the street who works at a different office. It's all going to be the same. We're all going to give you roughly the same advice. If I tell you that you're going to need, to reestablish your credit, pay off some collections, or come up with a substantial down payment as well as paying your collections, then that's what another broker is going to tell you as well. So it doesn't really make sense for for you to continue asking every single broker, or reaching out to every single broker and saying, hey, look, this is my situation, this is what I've been told, because they're just going to tell you the same thing again. And it would benefit you a lot more to not spend your time kind of running around in a circle getting the same answer from everybody. And it would also benefit
Exactly.
us.
Yeah. I just feel like I don't think people realize that they're putting their energy in the wrong place. When
Yes.
that happens, it's like stop looking for the magic pill and like the magic like overnight solution, because there's none. I mean, if you check with like once, and then it's okay to get
And
like a
yeah,
second,
definitely shop around.
yeah, like second
Yeah.
opinion, whatever. Don't like message 10, like don't just keep trying to find new people to message and then tell us what the other people told. Like we can tell pretty quickly if someone has checked before, and it's fine. Like that's totally fine. I'm not
And
against like
we
checking
want you
with.
to look around and see who you're going to be comfortable to work with, right? Of course, like shopping around is no
Yeah.
issue. And if you want to get a second opinion, if one broker told you something and you're saying, well, you know what, like I want to see if that's really the case, and you want to get a second opinion because maybe you just don't feel like they're that knowledgeable, or maybe they're newer to the industry or something like that, and whatever reason you want a second opinion, that's totally fine. But just don't message every broker in town kind of seeing.
Asking the same
Yeah.
question, or like seeing if, oh, maybe it's like there's no magical way. Like if your credit isn't great and you don't have a down payment, let's say, like for an example, there's no magical solution. Like pay off your collections or your debt, save up for a
Establish
down
your credit.
payment,
Yep.
establish, and then save up money. Like that's where your energy should be spent. If this is the situation and everyone's telling you that's what you need to do, don't keep just asking everyone if that's what you need to do, because
Yeah.
that's what you need to do. And
Yeah.
it's just
Just take the
have,
advice, apply it, and stop, stop spending all your energy looking for somebody who's just going to give you that magic yes. Spend your energy on, on making yourself a better borrower, basically, on making yourself, more acceptable to a bank or to a lender, make your credit better, things like that. Like take your energy and focus on, okay, like maybe I need to get on top of those collections. I need to call my creditors. I need to see how much I can settle it for. I need to work on saving money. Maybe in order to save money, I need to get a second job to get to where I want to be. Short-term pain for long-term gain.
yeah, totally. It's like there's so much you can do. You can sell stuff on Facebook, like marketplace,
Yeah. Oh
stuff
yeah,
you
people
have
do that
around the
all the
house.
time.
And like, do you know what I mean? It's not gonna probably, but whatever, you can do all
Yeah.
sorts of things to find money or to save up, or to like, you can like cancel your TV and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
ways to save money. You can get like, you don't have to have a super expensive apartment. Do you know what I mean? Like I get the prices are high and stuff, but usually you're just kind of giving yourself excuses on why you're still in the same position. and you're not moving, like you're not changing anything. If you don't change anything, nothing's going to change. And I think that's a message that we need to, like, people need to hear, because
Yes.
we see this all the time, a lot, like every week. I mean, every week, almost every day, but we see it a lot.
Yeah, at least once a week we see
Oh
that
my
kind of
gosh.
situation where, you know, we're telling somebody what they need to do to fix it, but they don't necessarily want to hear what they need to do. They're just looking for us to say, "Oh, yes, for sure, you can purchase." And at the end of the day, that's not going to benefit you if I just say, "Yes, you can purchase," because it's not going to go through. Like the bank's not going to do it. The lenders are like the insurers aren't going to do it.
And you're
We
not
don't
ready.
the rules. We just tell
Yeah.
you what the rules are and explain them to you. And we guide you through it, but we're not the creators of this.
Yeah, we don't have a proof stamp. That's
Yeah.
not how it works. Not anymore,
Yeah.
anyway. Maybe like
If it did work that way, we'd all make a lot more money and
Yeah.
everybody would have a house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I mean, like, if you're in that position already in terms of credit and stuff, it's because you're not ready to buy. Like, actually, like, if you can't manage the debt that you have right now, how do you think the bank thinks you're going to manage it, like being able to manage a mortgage, like a house? Like, it's not, it doesn't make sense. Like, logically,
Exactly.
it doesn't make sense to want to make a huge purchase when you can't even manage your, like, what you have right now, or that you're
Yeah.
not paying on right now. Like, if you're not making those like payments, if
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just like that's so
And a lot of people will also try to use the excuse like, oh, well, you know, I'm not looking to buy an expensive house. I'm just looking to buy one that's $50,000 to $100,000. Well, at the end of the day, that's still $50,000 or $100,000 more than what you have in your pocket. And think about it from the bank's perspective or from the lender's perspective. If you get an application from somebody and you've never met this person before because you're a big bank, and you get an application from them, they have very little, you know, down payment saved. They have basically just enough to make it happen, but their credit isn't the greatest. They've got, you know, a credit card in collection, or they've had a bunch of things written off on their bureau. They haven't reestablished their credit. And they don't have any fallback. They don't have any plan if something happens in the house and they need to repair something right away. They don't have the money for it. Are you going to want to lend that person $50,000 to $100,000 and say, oh, well, you know what, it's less than what their rent payment is right now. They should definitely be able to afford it.
Yeah. And it's not even the affordability. It's, are you going to be able to manage? Because if you're not able to manage $10,000, you're not going to be able to manage $100,000 well.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So that's why when people use that excuse, oh, well, I already pay it in rent. It's like, okay, great. But maybe like,
yeah, I mean, and like I find when people say like, oh, like I can afford my rent, I'm paying this much money per month at rent, and it's like, but can you really afford your rent though? Because your credit is suffering at the expense of your high rent. You know what I mean? If you've got, say, a 2-bedroom apartment and you're paying, I don't know, $1,000 a month in rent, and you're living by yourself, well, get a roommate. Have somebody else come move in with you. They can pay the other half of that rent. You can save that $500 a month. You can use that to better manage your expenses. And at the end of the day, like if you've got, you know, credit cards and collections, a bunch of late payments reporting to your bureau, but you pay your rent on time, well, you can't really afford your rent because you can't afford your other bills.
Exactly. I think people don't think about it that way at all.
Yeah.
And they need to.
And owning a house costs so much more than renting. I mean, you've got your home insurance that most people don't think about. That's like an additional cost. Tenant insurance is way cheaper. Oftentimes you can get tenant insurance for like $10, $15 a month. Your home insurance is not going to be that. I paid $1,800 for my home insurance in 2021. And then there's just little repairs, you know what I mean? There's things that come up when you own a home that you need to pay for. Like, for example, I have a propane fireplace. I need to get it cleaned and serviced. $160 for them to come out and look at it. If it needs anything, it's going to be additional.
Right. Yeah. That's when, like, without anything else.
Yeah. That's just having them come to my house. That's just
Mhm.
having them come to my house, open it up, clean it out, and then tell me, does it work now that it's cleaned?
I know, right? Yeah. It's all sorts of things. And I mean, even like having to pay for snow removal or buy a lawnmower or buy, you know what I mean? And then like your lawn, like, so either lawn care, you pay for that, or you buy a lawnmower, like just all those things. Right. And like, even
and if your lawnmower breaks down, because that's a small engine, now you have to take it to a small engine repair shop.
It just never ends. So yeah, you
gotta get gas for it.
Yeah, you need to have you need to have fallback. You need to be ready for it. You need to be like able to manage what you have now before you can, like, that's like an upgrade to like, okay, I can manage this. Okay, awesome. Now we're ready to like manage something bigger. Like if you can't manage
exactly.
what you're already doing, like you can't.
Exactly. You can't buy a house and say, okay, by me buying this house, I'm going to be able to
Gonna,
so much better
it's
manage
gonna
my
fix
financial
everything.
situation.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
going to be a fix it, it's not going to fix everything in your life. Yeah, okay, maybe you're going to buy a cheaper house than what you're paying per month in rent, but it's still not going to fix everything.
That's true.
You need to make those decisions and go through that short-term pain to get that long-term gain. We all have to do it. Some of us, don't have to do it quite as long as other people. Some of us get a leg up in life, but we all go through it at some point or another.
That's so true. And it's like, if you're like, if this is where you need to be ready to buy a house, some people stay there and that's fine and they're ready. Some people have to start here and then get there. But it's like, what do you need to do? Like if once you actually do it, like you can do so many things right now to start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If someone doesn't have great credit, they can start saving up money right now to pay off debt. Do you know what I mean? Or just get, at least keep everything they have right now up to date. Do you know what I mean? So if they're actually doing like, okay, this is already behind, it's fine, but like I'll deal with that. But whatever you have right now, if you have a cell phone bill or like a small credit card, at least keep these up to date. Yeah. Like, so if you can keep up these ones, these active ones, well, like the time from like how long it's going to take you to reestablish your credit or to get better, like with time, it's just going to help. So like if it takes, I don't know, a year to pay off like the collections or settle them, right? Pay them off to zero, at least you've had like, then you'll have history showing that, okay, well, you've made payments on everything else for a year, up to date, like never been late. I mean, I'm saying a year.
Good payment history. You haven't been late on it. You know what I mean? Then they're going to say, okay, well, like we see that, you had a collection from say 2016, but since then you've had really good payments. You haven't missed a payment. You haven't let anything else go into collections. Maybe that collection was more recently paid because it took you a little bit to save up the money, but they're going to look at the reestablished credit and they're going to say, okay, well, you know what? Like they've been working hard to get to that point to reestablish it and pay off this bad debt.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, don't wait till you have a perfect, like paid everything off and then keep your payments up to date. Do you know what I mean? Like it's something like pick what you can control now, because there's a few things you can still control. If you have collections, for example, you can control what you have, what you're like paying off right now, like what you're paying on right now. So anything that's active, like it's just, you can control that. So even if you need to like wait and like accumulate money to be able to clear those debts, do what you can, the small steps of like everything you can control right now. And then once you accumulate enough, you can clear them up. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really to kind of stop thinking about like, oh, well, this happened. This is why they're in collections. This is why my credit's bad. Like, this is why. It's like, just get out of that mindset. Like, stop using that excuse. It's in the past. It's done. Like,
I understand there was a life event that happened. You know what I mean? Like things happen. It happens to all of us, but it's not about the event. It's what we take away from that event and how we move on from it and how we better ourselves from it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure. That's perfect. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, me too.
So hopefully, I mean, if someone needed to hear this, it's just like everyone can get out of a bad, like of a, do you know what I mean? Like credit wise.
Everybody
and
can
like
fix their credit situation. It's not impossible. Yeah, it might take you longer than it took your best friend or your cousin or whatever, but it is fixable. It can be fixed. It just takes, sometimes a little bit of work, sometimes a lot of work. But it is fixable.
But it's all
and at
in
the end of the
small
day,
steps.
like, yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, it's just following the steps. And I mean, we don't want to discourage you from getting a second opinion or anything like that. We do want you to, review all your options. And if you don't feel like you're getting the best advice, then go and search for some more advice, right?
Right.
But if you're hearing the same thing from several different people in a row, chances are that's what it is.
Yeah.
And you should just take that advice and you should implement it instead of continuing to go around
looking for another option. Yeah. It's like there's not.
You're
like,
wasting your time and your energy.
Yeah.
And you're stressing yourself out.
And like a lot of people put pressure on themselves to buy a house like now. Like it's like like do the things first, and then
Yeah.
like once you're ready, once you did that, then look into buying a house. Don't like jump, like don't try to like
Jump 10
skip all
steps.
the steps. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't work that way. So in anything in life,
Yeah.
but yeah, so we just thought people need to hear this today.
Yes. Thought it
So
might be useful to some people out there. And you know, hopefully you'll be able to put some energy in some better areas if that's
yeah.
what you're currently doing.
Yeah, and like we believe in you. You can. You're
Yeah.
able to do it, and you can do it. Just put the effort in the right, like in the right spots, like where you need to. So that's our 2 cents.
Stressing
for
yourself
today.
out, looking for that yes, and waiting for, you know, answers from everybody. Just, you know, take the advice that's given to you and start implementing it, start working on it. And I mean, you can continue to work with a broker even if you're not able to purchase today. You can still check back in with them and say like, hey, look, I paid down my credit card. What was that second step you gave me again?
Right.
You know, I'm doing this, like just wanted to let you know I got this cleared up, and we'll send you an email back and we'll congratulate you and tell you what a good job you're doing. If you need that pat on the back, you know what I mean? If you need a friend in your corner,
Right.
we're happy to do that. It's just, we don't want you to waste your time and get yourself stressed out by trying to see, you know, what 100 different people have to say.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Perfect. That's awesome. Cool.
So that was it.
Yeah, no, if you guys have any questions, like let us know what you want to know. If there's stuff
Yeah.
you're like, I wonder, like send us your questions, because we
Yeah.
obviously we love talking about this stuff. So we'll answer them for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks so much. See you next
you.
week. Bye.
Bye.